Just touching on government's role here, I mean, we have seen government offer tax incentives for companies investing in especially high-tech companies. How has that acted to stimulate investment into sectors like these?
Government has moved very quickly on that. It was promulgated or mentioned in the budget speech by Minister Manuel February. On the 1st of August, draft legislation was published by National Treasury, which begins to set out the rules of engagement, if you will, as to how you're allowed to tap into that tax incentive. It hasn't yet kicked through that it's actual legislation yet, but from our members and the general sentiment in the market, those are exceptionally positive moves. At the same time, at a governmental level, the Department of Science and Technology has launched something called TIA, the Technology Innovation Agency, which is looking to pool all the various initiatives that government has put in place over a number of years to really drive synergies in terms of taking that market forward. Both of which are key regulatory enablers. You know, some of the smaller things that some of our members encounter is a little bit of a leg ache, if you can call it that, with exchange control, where sometimes exchange control forces a local private equity fund or venture capital fund to exit an investment prematurely before it enters into an international market, simply from an exchange control and foreign currency point of view. You know, there's some refinement that could take place to some of the IP legislation in our country, but those are all positive moves that government is aware of and underpinned by these tax incentives and the TIA from the Department of Science and Technology. Those are all positive moves, so I think we're on a good footing.
Tony, how have you, I mean, you definitely agree on this, and I see you nodding there. Just how much of an incentive is this for a funding operation like yours?
For someone like ourselves, what it does is encourage activity. We look often to the private sector, what we call the angel investor market, to invest in quite a few of our very early stage, seed stage projects. And what the government is doing is certainly going to encourage activity in that market. So we definitely think they're on the right track, and I think what JP mentioned about the TIA hopefully is going to have a very positive impact too.
Okay. Well, just to end off, JP, I mean, this interest is driven primarily by the potential for superior returns. At what risk, though? Because it's all about financing operation at the early stage of a business in order to accelerate growth. But considering how many startup businesses really fail in South Africa, these partnerships come undoubtedly and undeniably with risk. So how do you weigh risk with investment opportunity?
Sure. Unfortunately, there's no silver bullet. It's on a deal-by-deal type of basis. But entrepreneurs out there need to understand that people like Tony and other fund managers manage that risk and are going to acutely look at that risk when even before they make an investment. They're going to really analyze the market risk, the technology risk, the legal risk, the IP risk, and a whole bunch of other things, besides just the fact that, will this business make money? All those various risks are unpacked and mitigating factors need to be put into place. Yes, there is more risk in terms of venture capital, because a number of these businesses, although on very good premises, unfortunately do fail. But what the model is that at the end of the day, if you're putting enough businesses through the system, you will find those ones that shoot out and really kick the lights out in terms of returns and becoming really globally applicable.
Well, JP, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there for this half. JP, thanks so much for joining us this evening. And Tony, we'll see you back in straight after the break. After the break, a look at some of the risks entrepreneurs face when getting funding from venture capital companies. Stay tuned.